Hi, friends. It's your girl, Alyssa, here at Stories and Spoilers, the podcast. And I am here with Deanna Grey. This is the author of Outdrawn and Sunny Disposition, as well as Oasis. I have my copy of Outdrawn here, and I love it so, so much. And
Mhm.
without further ado, this is Deanna. Hi.
Yeah, hi. Thank you
How
for
are
having
you?
me. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so
Yeah.
happy to have you here on the podcast. I can't wait for your upcoming book, The Case of Elmwood Ranch, coming out July 15th. What are you looking forward to with your upcoming projects? I know you have some, really cool creative experiences that led you to your writing role.
Mhm.
So yeah, what's been kind of brewing for you?
Yeah, I'm super excited about Elmwood because it's like my first jump into paranormal. I've been like writing contemporary for like 5 years.
Mm,
That's how long I've been publishing. So, yeah, paranormal is fun because I like almost exclusively read paranormal when I was a teenager. So it's kind of like
mm,
coming home and it's very like nostalgic to me. So yeah. And then my other book, They Wouldn't Dare, is also coming out like soon, like I think next month will in March. And I'm excited about this one because it's kind of like a revisit from my first series that I wrote when I first started publishing. It was originally like a football romance, and then I kind of revamped it. And these are like the characters that really like stood out to me. So I'm excited to be
mm.
like back with them because again, it's kind of like nostalgic. I think a lot of projects I'm working on now are very nostalgic.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. Speaking of nostalgia and some of your favorite things that you're returning to, I have some fun icebreaker questions. You mostly write romance, and for folks who may not know you, I want these questions to highlight some really cool parts of you. So, first question is, what are your top three favorite romance book tropes and why?
Okay. So this one was a hard one. I was thinking about it. But I do like there's this it's kind of complicated to explain, but it's like an historical romance where that the main character like she'll be like I actually do have like a fiance or I do have like someone and then like be writing letters to them and then the person that they're writing to it actually exists and then they come and like oh yeah so like I'm your fiance now so they kind of have to it's kind of like a fake relationship um kind of pen pal so I like that trope but I've only seen it in historical
Mm.
I like Second Chance. I don't know. I think it's sweet and cute and like very familiar. And I have a soft spot for Grumpy Sunshine.
It's a good trope.
Yeah, it is. I feel like I don't know, you can get like a lot of banter with that one too, especially when like the Sunshine person is just kind of like I don't know, like a little chaotic. I like when the Sunshine's a little chaotic and the Grumpy's kind of like more like level-headed and like logical. So just like, okay, chill out.
I'm here for that. As someone who lives in that trope in real life, it's pretty great because it can
Hmm.
also switch up where the really grumpy person has moments of like realism, but they're logical, but it's not all doom and gloom. They're like, okay, things are bad, but like we're gonna figure it out. And
Yeah.
the sunny person has a moment where it's like, this is a lot. I need a minute. Like they break down, and it's the grumpy person who becomes the like reassurance. That
Yeah.
trope where it's like, you came, you called. I love that
Oh,
trope.
eat it up every time.
I love
Eat
it
it up.
so much where it's like where one person's like super overwhelmed, like this could never work, and the other person's like, what, like I would do anything for you. I've always been right here. They give
Hmm.
you examples like I was here then, I was
Because they're just like grounding and it's like, oh, you're
100%.
safe, you're protected.
Yes.
Love
Even
it.
like where it's a weird thing, but when one of the characters gets sick or gets hurt and the other character like cares for
Oh,
them.
that like hurt comfort. Ugh,
Yes.
it's like really big in like
Yes.
fanfic too. I'm like,
I love
I collect them. I'm like, ugh,
it.
another one.
Amazing. I'm sitting here.
Hmm.
It feels like the same vibe where it's like, "What's your favorite drink?" And it's like Moscato, Mesiato with a sprinkle of
Oh yeah, like I wish you said like a prosecco. Like,
yeah. It's like it's with champagne, and then they're going,
yeah,
"Oh
like
wow!" And it's like it's
oh,
pretty great. I'm
oh,
sitting here and I'm
yeah.
like in the same energy with book tropes. It's like, yeah, a
Hmm.
little bit of grumpy sunshine with a splash of I'll care for you.
Hmm.
Amaze balls.
Hits every time.
My next question for you is: which rom coms do you think inspire your books the most?
Okay, so I only recently, which is shocking, started watching rom-coms as an adult because I was very like sheltered as a kid and like as a
Mm,
teen. So like all my rom-coms are like young kid ones. So like they're like Disney Channel. I'm talking like
okay.
Little Manhattan is like a really good one to me. That one with Josh Hutcherson. I don't know. I ate
Yep.
that up as a kid. I was like, oh, this is too
Peter.
good. It's too good. I love The Princess Diaries. Like, I don't know which I prefer. I think I actually do prefer the Chris Pine
Number two.
Prince versus the band guy because the band guy kind of felt mean to me and I was a little sensitive. But also the Prince was kind of mean too, regardless. But yeah, High School Musical. Like all my rom-coms are like teen,
Okay.
but that's where it was at for me.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
I will say like my mom has this name where anyone who's a fan of Chris Pine, she calls pine nuts. Y'all are pine nuts.
Oh,
And I'm
I
like,
love that.
that's kind of that's
That's
I mean,
hilarious.
we do go into a good pesto. That man's eyes are bright bluish green. So
Yeah,
we'll
it's very
see. He's
intense.
great in Star Trek. I
Oh,
love him.
hands
I love
down.
him.
Hands down.
He's great. I
Hmm.
liked him in Princess Diaries too. I
Hmm.
thought he was super cute. I will say that like I love a love interest who even if they do have a grumpy, like edgy side or the banter, it doesn't cross into the world of being mean or becoming a bully
Yeah.
romance.
Hmm.
No offense to folks
Amen.
who like that, but I'm sorry. Don't be too mean or else I'll cry. Like
Yeah. I'm
I can't.
sensitive. I'm gonna be honest. I'm sensitive.
Yeah,
So,
I'm a sensitive gangster. I
yeah.
can't handle this. As Love Island said, it was a sensitive gangster. I can't do this.
Yeah,
So we could
exactly.
banter, but don't be too mean about it, okay?
Exactly.
My next question for you is: how did the books you read when you were younger influence how you write now?
This is a good question because I was thinking and I was like, I don't know. I think it more so influences me in terms of like putting who I am into the books because a lot of the books I was reading did not have like black women, like black girls on the forefront. So I'm just like,
Mhm.
I love this scenario because I used to read like a lot of romance. Big on like obviously I said like paranormal and like there's this random early 2000s paranormal series called Evermore. Um, ate it up, but obviously there was no black girls in it. So when I think back to those books and now I'm influenced by like, okay, love the scenario, gonna put a black girl in it. So that's how I
I love it.
transfer stuff. Yeah.
I think seeing more Black women and Black folks in fantasy is incredibly important because a
Yeah.
lot of us consumed it and would just change. I would
Hmm.
change the race in my head and I'd be like,
Hmm.
all right, well, I understand that she has olive skin and I understand that she has dark green eyes, but in my mind, she has curly hair and she has really beautiful skin. It's just one of those things where it's like, most people think, well, the descriptions really matter. It does matter. When you
Yeah,
don't see yourself, it
exactly.
hurts. Yeah, even in
Yeah.
fantasy worlds where like we have swords and we have, dragons and we have mermaids, there's no black people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Be so for real.
yeah, or we're like super small side characters, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Or
I
like
think we
the
could do better.
sacrificial ones. I hate when they have to sacrifice themselves. Like I know a lot of black women agree, like with Bonnie with Vampire Diaries. It makes me I love that show, but like rewatches are always hard and like frustrating because she's just like she's dying for them and she's using her all her power for them. And I was like, I just want her to be the main character. I want her to be loved. So
Every week, she would go through some like traumatic, horrible experience.
yeah.
I always would have loved to see her with like have a happy ending with Enzo. I would have loved to see
Yeah.
her possibly have a romantic relationship with Damon.
Yeah.
I I seeing her in that cave with her grandma. There was a lot going on, and I was just like,
Hmm.
every week I would at least I would wait with the CW for that new episode, and
Hmm.
I was like, Jeremy, I didn't mind. I just wanted to see her live her best life, get a better hairstyle because oh my god, they did her so dirty
I
so many times.
know.
I was like, there's nobody black on this set, damn. But
Exactly.
Kat is gorgeous, and
She
I will
is.
say, like the moments when there was a beautiful friendship on screen, it was nice to
Mhm.
see her have that sense of community. But
Yeah.
like that first scene with her realizing she was a witch and all the feathers, iconic,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
amazing. I was like,
Hmm.
oh, give me more. Like
Yeah.
what I wouldn't do. I've always wanted to see like as we speak about Vampire Diaries, I've always wanted to see a sapphic rendition of the Caroline and Klaus story, but queer.
Oh, I would love that because I love Caroline and Klaus. That would eat.
That would
Oh my
eat. I'm sitting here, I'm
God.
like, he was unhinged, but the sketching of her with the horse and sending her the dress and like the
Hmm.
graduation scene with him being like, I know I'm not your first love, but I'll be your last.
Honestly, I was like full stop. I had to pause. I was like, oh,
You had to be there. I'm sitting here, I'm
that
like, you
was
just had to,
so good.
you had to know. Like
Yeah.
having to wait every week for that next episode was gnarly. And I'm sitting here and I'm
Mhm.
like, but boy, oh boy, did it feel good. And then you get the V and the bloody drop.
Oh yeah. It was a moment. Like
So good.
CW.
I'm scared to rewatch the show. I didn't finish it, but it's more like it's like reading a book where the first book was great, the second book's okay. You get to the last book and you're kind of scared to finish the series because you're like,
Yeah.
this is the last one. Like all these characters go
Hmm.
away after I finish. It's
Exactly.
hard. I think I'm
It
still
is.
in denial because
Hmm.
I don't want to watch the last. I don't want to watch the last season.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. It's not the best, but I took what they gave me.
I'm gonna pull an Elena. I'm just gonna stay in this sunken place and
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's
clock
probably the
out.
best place to be honest. Remember, hold your memories tight, you
I
know?
think I'm gonna do that. The last thing I remember watching the show was Enzo was still alive, and I know he's not anymore.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been spoiled. But
Hmm.
Enzo was still alive. They were living in their little cabin together. I think Stefan was like the Ripper again. Like, there's a lot going on. I'm gonna
Okay.
leave that alone. I'm gonna leave
Yeah.
that. I know Stefan gets with Caroline. I know that. Like,
It was a mess.
that can stay there.
Yeah.
I wish them all well. So,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna stay in my Delulu. Diving deeper into some questions, I want to talk a little bit about how a lot of folks know you from your LGBTQIA plus rivals to lovers story, Outdrawn. I love my special edition so much. Any moment I get to show her, I will show her.
Hmm.
I wanted to know what drew you to writing the story because I know this has a novel and like comic book element. It's rivals to lovers, and I just want to know what inspired you to write this.
Yeah, so I wanted to be an artist. Like I originally was wanted to go to school for like illustration and animation, but
Hmm.
art school is expensive and I couldn't afford it. So, and most of them are private too. So I was just like, okay, here's the second best thing. I can pretend I'm an artist. Because I knew all this stuff about art stuff too. And I was just like, might as well use this information. And so I kept that in the back of my mind because I knew I wanted to write about artists one day. And I love anime. And there's this anime called Bakuman, and they're like manga artists. And they have like this other guy, like they're a rival with him. Like there's a pair of manga artists and then they have a rival. And I love that dynamic. And I was like, oh, let's make this black and let's make this sapphic. And then
Ooh.
and then I took it from there. I was like, yeah, I'm just combining like two things that I really love.
Oh my gosh. Is it okay if I read the description of the book for folks who haven't heard of it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. This is the description of Outdrawn. I'm just holding this book in my hands feels so special and like talking to you, the person who dreamt of it and created it is so cool.
Mhm.
Okay. It isn't always lonely at the top. Noah Blue's family got her foot in the door. After clawing her way to the top of the charts with her webcomic, she garnered enough attention to earn a full time position at a comic company relaunching their cult classic comic, Queen Lisha. Am I saying that properly? Okay.
To be honest, I don't know how to say it because I just combined it two names.
That's totally fine. I'm sitting here. I'm like,
I say Lisa, but it can be
Lisa,
whatever you
Lisa's
want.
awesome. We love that. Okay.
Mhm.
Queen Lisa is predicted to be an instant bestseller, and there's nowhere to go but up. As soon as she gets one person out of her way, Sage Montgomery, great name, has always been the best. Raw talent's gotten her webcomic to number one for the past 8 years. Sure, her career has plateaued, but that can be fixed with a big mainstream comic. She was promised full creative control over Lisa. Instead, she got a shared credit with one artist who's been breathing down her neck since college. Oh,
Mhm.
Sage and Noah have to work as a team, or at least appear to. They thought the hardest part of the relaunch would be drawing together, but that's easy in comparison to resisting their feelings for each other. And inside this beautiful edition, it is 27 chapters, it's 320 pages. And what I love about this edition is that it looks like nutritional facts.
Yeah, oh, I
I
love that.
absolutely, and it breaks down all the tropes, but it's
Hmm.
Black characters, lesbian, bisexual, carpal tunnel syndrome, and it's gay. It's new adult contemporary, rivals to lovers, workplace romance, hot girls riding motorcycles, and it's an art competition. And it's first person dual POV. And I'm 100% here for it. I'm reading it for the second time, and it hits. I will read it forever. I also heard that Outdrawn was made into a short film, What was that process like for you? And what are your thoughts on Black Sapphic representation in the book and film world right now?
Yeah. So basically I had this idea with my director. My director is my sister. So we worked on it together. She was like, we should do something together because she's a filmmaker and then I'm an author. So I was like, yeah. So I wrote like three different scripts because I was trying to pick a scene that we can adapt, but that was relatively easy because we didn't have like a lot of time. And we landed on the epilogue. So we was like, okay, it's indoors. And we wanted to film in New York because we knew that there was a lot of like amazing talent there. So we're like, okay, we want to like have an environment that we can kind of control. Um, so I did like basically I was the production person. So I location scouted, scheduled the everything that we needed to do and whatnot. And it was like a lot of moving pieces. And then my sister, she did like the camera, the audio, editing. It was a one-day shoot. Um, both actresses, they were incredible because we only had two practices with them, but they were like on it. Like they knew their line, like front, straight, back. It was just incredible to see them work. They were really fast. I think it took about 4 hours, no. It was probably, I feel like an 8 hour shift in the apartment. And then we went to a park after, and then a hotel after. And we were absolutely exhausted, but it was really fun. And we got to do it with the Kickstarter, which I'm so thankful to everyone who like donated. So that was like a big part of the process was their support because without it, we wouldn't have been able to go to New York and do it. But yeah, it's like a small, short little 11-minute film, but it was really fun. I'm really happy I got to like see it come to life.
That is so cool that you were so involved. I think it's also really
Yeah.
cool that it's out now on YouTube. It came out December 31st of last year,
Mhm.
which is so cool. I'll make sure to link it in the show notes below as well so folks can see it. Definitely read Outdrawn first and see the
Yeah.
short film so you
Yeah.
can really appreciate it and see the characters on screen. But I think it's so cool that you were so involved. That's absolutely amazing. I also want to show love to the first book that got me into your books and like your style, which was Sunny Disposition. This is a sports romance. It has some secret identity in it. For folks who haven't heard of Sunny Disposition, what are some words you would use to describe it?
Grumpy Sunshine, gamer and a hockey player. The hockey player is her stream mod because she streams, and roommates, hidden identity a little bit, and amnesia.
Hey, so this is book one of the Mendel Hawk series, which I love.
Mhm.
I love also how all of the books low-key could be read as standalones, but reading them as a series is also really amazing.
Mhm.
Reading the description from Goodreads, it says, Naomi, I can't understand why out of the four hockey players I'm sharing a house with this semester, Finn Howard's the one who catches my eye. The guy never smiles, he doesn't say much and disapproves plenty, but something about him feels familiar. Something about him feels safe. I'm not falling for Finn, I'm just curious. Could I make him smile? It wouldn't hurt to try. I love a good challenge, and who knows, maybe it'll distract me from pining over a guy I met online. Finn, I don't get nervous unless I'm on the ice. So why does my chest feel tight whenever Naomi Lewis looks in my direction? She's witty, kind, and happy. How is someone that happy all the time? If her sunny disposition isn't enough to distract me, the fact her voice sounds exactly like the streamer I anonymously moderate for will. If Naomi is her, she's in for a huge disappointment. I'm not the guy she thinks I am, not anymore at least. And for that reason alone, I should stay away from her. I should stop trying to get closer. I should stop wanting her because she fell for someone else, someone I will never be again. And this came out June 30th of 2022. Um, and this was the book that made me fall for your writing. I'm such a big
Oh.
fan. I wanted to know, after writing Sunny Disposition, what do you
Mhm.
want to see more of in the sports romance genre?
Um, Definitely more Black women. Um, I feel like more, just more diversity in general, like mental health
Mm.
rep. I want to write more diverse bodies, diverse sexualities as well. I feel like ace rep, is not a lot. And romance in
Mm.
general, definitely in sports as well. So I want to do more with that. I kind of touched on it with my most recent book, Safety Net, because Celeste is demisexual. Yeah, just more diversity featuring specifically Black women.
I hear that. Why do you feel like there isn't a lot of representation for Black women in sports romance and just romance in general?
That's a good question. A lot of times I do think it's because there's not a lot of Black authors in terms of like being exposed to like indie romance because it's hard to publish a book. TradPub doesn't really pay attention to Black authors or most times any author of color, but typically Black authors. Um, yeah, I think it's that. And then like me personally, I didn't realize that indie publishing was like a huge thing until like 2020. And then I saw Talia Hibbert. I always mention this. I'm like, Talia Hibbert is the one, she's the reason why I published because I saw her doing it. And I was like, oh, we're allowed to just hire someone to do a cover and we can just publish our books and we don't have to ask agents for permission. And I think it's because we're not like exposed to that there's just not a lot of us. But thankfully there's more. There's so many Black indie authors now. And I'm so excited for the next generation to like be moving because there's gonna be such a vast selection. I think it's just with everything though. It's just exposure and time. But we're gonna get there.
I absolutely love how you describe that. Talia Hibbert is another author who I absolutely adore.
Yeah.
Someone I hope to speak to in the future. Christina Forrest, an author who I know does publish traditionally. She's one of the few authors as well who I've seen. She highlights a lot of other authors who are indie authors, even as a traditional author. And I
Yeah.
love how all these authors use their platform as Black authors to support other Black authors. They have
Yeah,
so much
exactly.
space, and I love that. And
Mhm.
I tip my hat to you that you're an indie author. Your covers are so beautiful and original. You're
Yeah.
hands on with your film adaptation of Outdrawn short film. I cannot wait to watch it.
Mhm.
Um, you make space for Black female main characters and MMCs as well, and queer representation. And your
Yeah.
books are so awesome.
Thank you.
So
Thank
awesome.
you.
And I hope that you continue to get your flowers because I see how much effort you put into everything. And your books are so loved. I love the visuals on social media as well for your characters.
Yeah.
Everyone, please check out Deanna Gray's Instagram. I'll have it linked below because on each one of her books, you'll see like little collages of the characters, the settings, the mood board energy.
Hmm.
Speaking of really cool settings and the mood, I want to bring up Oasis, your novelette that has Black sapphic romance, an ex pop star and single mom, summer love, bisexual representation, neighbors, and a little bit of spice. I read this a while ago and I absolutely fell for Kaya. I loved the way that you built their love story. It was short, it was sweet, it was amazing. I wanted to know a little bit about when you wrote this book. Do you see the characters in your mind? Like, is it a visual experience for you? And what made you want to write this love story?
Yeah, I used to like be able to visualize characters better, but I feel like the older I get, the harder it is to visualize them. Because sometimes when people ask me, I was like, "Oh, who would you cast?" I was like, "I don't know," because I can't see them anymore. It's kind of
Mm.
sad, but I do create my Pinterest boards, so that helps me. And sometimes when I'm writing, I'll do like my dual screen mode, have the Pinterest board up, and then my work, so I can better
Ooh,
visualize them.
that's cool.
Yeah, that helps a lot. I wanted to write the story. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a simmer, so I love Sims, and I was building my save file. So if you're a simmer, you know how hard that is to build a save file. And I was in Oasis Springs because that's one of my favorite worlds. And I made like a single mom, and then across the street, I just made like this like just a random sim. And I was like, oh yeah, she's definitely an ex-pop star. And then I was like, oh, she's right across the street from the single mom. And I was like, oh, I bet they'll fall in love. I was like, you know what? I should write that book. And then I was like, okay, it'll be a little short story. And that's why it's called Oasis, because it's from Oasis Spring. So it's genuinely just inspired by my Sims.
That is so fun. I love when you found creativity in that and you're able to build a super sweet love story.
Mhm.
One of the next books I wanted to bring up is your book coming out called They Wouldn't Dare. This comes out March 12th of this year. It has bisexual representation, fake dating, interracial relationships, and so much more. Is it okay if I talk a little bit about what this book's going to be about, or would you like
Mhm.
to do the pleasure?
Yeah, I can talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be the first book in what the Westbrook University series. So it's just like a new adult college romance. It's about Yara and David, and they're like frenemies when they were younger. So like they went to middle school and high school together, and they kind of like don't really like each other, but they are always like crossing paths. So they're like the only two people from their small town that went to like the same big university. So
Mm.
they're like, okay, I'm kind of homesick, and like you're the only person that I know from our small town, so I guess we'll hang out a little bit. But they're the type of couple who are like very back and forth. It's a lot of banter. Um, yeah, a lot of talking back to each other. They get caught in this like kind of like dare battle or like bet game where they just do random dares. And one thing leads to another, and they happen to be like fake dating.
Ooh,
So, yeah.
okay. Why is it giving me the same energy as to all the boys I loved before, but we have bisexual
Oh,
representation? A
yeah.
rom-com for a book. Similar
Yeah.
energy?
A little
Ooh.
bit. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I didn't think about it like that, but yes.
If you like this, you'll love this. Ooh, I'm just
Exactly.
saying, hear me out, hear me
hmm
out.
hmm
I also want to talk about your upcoming book. I really, really want to highlight this one. And this is The Case of Elmwood Ranch. This comes out July 15th of this year. I'm so excited. I'm also going to put the link to pre order that puppy below. The description you have on Instagram is so enchanting. I cannot wait to read this.
hmm
And I'm like zooming in so I can look at it. Elmwood Ranch was Octavia Daniels' dream, a safe place to land after years on the road. But once the paperwork's signed and the keys are handed over, the nightmare begins. Unidentifiable voices in the walls, injured ranch hands who refuse to work a second longer, and a strange weather phenomenon that claims every ounce of security and sanity. Octavia does not believe in ghosts, but she can't deny something's wrong with the land she sunk her entire savings into. Ray Jones is in the business of ending nightmares. She comes from a long line of paranormal investigators, one of four, and she sets herself apart from the Jones sisters by making their legacy into a commercial success. After years of enjoying that success, she's gotten herself in a bit of debt. So now she's in the business of taking every job she can get. And that includes one from a very standoffish and non believing rancher who thinks she is a scam artist. I need it. Paranormal mystery, buy for buy, flirty paranormal investigator, and skeptical horse rancher. Black
hmm
romance, queer,
hmm
beautiful. I cannot wait to read this. I feel like the meme of the Thanksgiving where it's like greens, beans, potatoes. I'm like
Oh,
listening.
ham. Yeah, no, I love
You
that.
name it. I'm like listing off all my favorite parts of your books. I wanted to know with this upcoming book, um, paranormal. I
hmm
love to see it. Is this something that you want to continue writing about in the future?
Oh, hands down. Yeah, for sure. Like I was so nervous to jump into it because I'm very anxious about the world building and like lore and stuff. But then I was like, let's just go for it because
Hmm.
you never get better unless you start. So,
I agree.
Mhm.
Okay. Follow-up question. This is linked to the paranormal element. Do you have any experiences with the paranormal tied with the story? Anything that happened in your real life, or maybe that you heard about that inspired you to write this?
Um, I didn't think that there was like a ghost in the house that I grew up in. And it was kind of sad because it was like it felt like a little kid ghost because it would kind of be like I
Oh,
would see something in the corner of my eye a lot. And it was a friendly ghost in my mind because I was like, oh no, it's not like anything. So like I had that, and then recently I went to New Orleans, and there's like a lot of history there, and I was like, there are definitely like ghosts within these streets because we went on like a ghost story. I don't know. They were freaking me out, but I kind of like those experiences a little bit helped inspire this a little.
ooh. Would you ever write a book set in New Orleans?
Oh, I want to so bad. But because I'm not from there, I feel like I won't do it justice. So I've been looking for books set in New Orleans because I was like, I love it so much. So I was like, I'm on the hunt for them.
Okay. I may have one to recommend you later. Let me know. I may
Please
have one
do.
to recommend you later. We'll
Please do.
see. Okay. Octavia Daniels and Ray Jones are the main characters of your upcoming book. What inspired these characters?
For Ray Jones, definitely I I kind of make characters that I aspire to be. And Ray is like very like
Hmm.
charming and she likes the attention, she likes to be on stage and she can flirt with anyone. She's like the type of person you meet her and she's just like your bestie. And then she
Mm.
has a little bit of Dean Winchester in her, because she's
Ooh.
like the investigator and he's also like very like flirty. So I kind of like put a little bit of he inspired her a little bit.
Okay.
And for Octavia, it's just I don't know what inspired her. I think she might be more me because she's more of like a loner. And she was just like what in my mind I thought I was gonna be able to afford at 30, which I definitely can afford a ranch. But in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna buy a house somewhere in the country. I'm just gonna be a loner. I'm just gonna live there. It's gonna be amazing. So that she kind of takes that from me. She's like, I'm gonna do this and be on my own.
Listen, in this economy, I do not blame you. It is tough
Yeah,
out here, okay? I thought I
right.
was going to be in the cottage from Breaking Dawn.
No, for real. That was the dream.
That's
Maybe,
the dream. Or the
maybe in my
cottage from Matilda that Miss Honey lived in.
oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You just
But yeah, what? I live in a
unlocked a
tropical setting.
memory.
Where am I going to find that?
No, for real.
I feel like everyone who's in the queer community is like Miss Honey's house. Yeah.
No, definitely.
So cozy, so safe. Like just the energy was so beautiful. I was like,
Hmm.
where is this magical place?
Yeah.
I also noticed that with LGBTQIA plus representation is a key point of many of your books, as well as Black main characters, which we get to see in a lot of your stories. What does this representation mean to you? And why do you build your stories around these characters?
Yeah. It just means everything to me. I don't know. It makes me feel seen because I never saw myself in like books growing up as like a Black queer woman. Like I learned later on in life that I was queer. I was like, I had to be 19 or 20. And I learned from it. At first, I was so confused because I'm bisexual. So I was like, sometimes I like guys, sometimes I like girls. I was like, I don't know. Like, do I have to pick a side? I'm so confused. And I saw like a couple YouTubers. There was two of them. I can't even remember their names now, but both of them were bisexual women. And one was a Black woman. And like they were like, it kind of like almost gave me, I don't want to say, I guess the word is kind of permission, where that you're just like, oh no, this is a thing. Like they were like
Mm.
young women and like being open, and they're like, yeah, you can like both, and that's fine. And that's actually a thing. And I didn't even know the word for it at the time, which was it feels like wild to say that now, but around me there was like no community. So I was
Mm.
like, okay. But then when I learned it, it's like a breath of fresh air. I was like, I was so relieved. I was like, okay, there isn't anything wrong with me because I was convinced. I was like, there's something wrong with me. And then I was like, when I saw them like just being their full authentic self, I was like, man. So now when I write books, I'm like, I want that for Black women. So like no matter where they are on like whatever spectrum, I'm like, there is nothing wrong with you. So that's why with every book, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna let them be authentically themselves, whether they're bi, yeah, ace, whatever, you know? Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
Oh,
absolutely amazing. Bisexual representation is so important. Bisexual
yeah,
erasure happens a lot, and
exactly.
it's
Yeah.
horrible. And I'm so sorry that at any point in your life it was difficult to navigate that. And I'm glad that you were able to find those resources. And I'm
Thank
glad that you feel so safe and so heard. And thank you for
you.
sharing that with me and with our listeners. You should be able to be yourself and share your
Well,
books and share your life and be happy and find joy. Love who you want to love.
yeah.
Be happy. You deserve
Thank
that.
you. Yeah,
So
thank you for giving me the space and like everyone who reads my books, like everyone's so like open and welcoming. Because when I first wanted to write a bisexual character, I was like so nervous. I was like, oh my God, like am I gonna be like judged? And also it's a thing where that am I queer enough? Because I
mm,
didn't grow up in those spaces and I don't really have like that community around me. So I was just like, is it enough? Like, are they gonna be like at a certain point, I was just like, hey, this is who I am. So might as well talk about it. And I'm glad
mm,
that, well, I just hope that it helps other Black women to like not feel as like alone and like weird. And if they don't have that community around them, because not all of us are fortunate to have found it, especially at an older age too. It's like very awkward in that when you're older and queer, it feels like a coming of age all over again. It's like a puberty. You're just
mm.
like, oh my God, how do I navigate this? So yeah, thank you. Because like I said, you like created this space. Like I watched your interview with Erica Alexander and I was like, oh my God, like this, I don't know. I just love this space. So thank you for creating it.
I'm so glad that you feel comfortable and safe. I will say I navigating sexuality is a very complex experience. And for me, like I was like my friend was like, watch the L word. You'll understand. And I was like, huh? And I was not allowed to watch this stuff. I was not allowed to watch anything that had
Yeah.
like intimacy or spicy stuff
Mhm,
at a young
mhm.
age. So I was like, L word.
Yeah,
I'm not allowed to watch HBO. So it
exactly.
wasn't I wasn't allowed to watch that. I wasn't allowed to watch HBO. So I was like, how am I gonna
Yeah,
find this?
no,
My
for
friend gave me her phone and she was like, here. I watched it and I was like, this is like 80% spicy stuff. And at that age, I was like, I don't necessarily want that. I just
sure.
want to, I just know that I like being around my female friends more than I like being around my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it's not his fault. I was just like, I just don't, I was like, I think about groceries when he's talking to me. Like, I'm thinking
Yeah.
about, I'm thinking about something
It
else.
wasn't the vibe.
I don't
Like
want to
we're
be
not
here.
vibing. Yeah. It
But
wasn't the vibe,
it wasn't the vibe,
you
but
know?
the sense of like, what is wrong with me? Or I must be
Hmm.
I'm like everyone's watching a movie and laughing, but I'm not laughing. Like I'm not getting
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
Um I think that's a universal experience of just navigating who you are and what you want.
Hmm.
And um there's so many words and terms and categories and descriptions, and it can be amazing to have a word for how you're feeling and who you are, but it can also be like, is this the word that fits who I am?
Hmm.
Sexuality is so fluid and so complex, and it can take
Hmm.
lifetimes to figure out who you are. And some
Yeah.
folks don't want any term for who they are. They just love who they
Yeah.
love, and that's that.
Hmm.
But for me, I'm like, love is so complex and never ending. In my
Hmm.
mind, it's like if you met the love of your life and they were this gender or this age or this race, like they're
Hmm.
still the love of your life. They're
Exactly.
just in this body, or like,
Exactly.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like the
Hmm.
personality and the soul of the person. That's
Yeah.
who you should love.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. And if there's a word for that, I'm like, yeah, I think it's just an everlasting feeling. The person, you know? So,
Exactly.
I don't know. And your books, they they to me are a beautiful ode to romance and discussions of intimacy and care and friendship. And when there is intimate moments or where there is spice, it feels so earned because there
Mhm.
was so much character development and there was so much like care. um I had to compare them to rom-coms, like the good ones from like the
Mhm.
90s.
Mhm.
And even like the really cool ones that are from like the 1920s. Like there's this like, I don't know, this like compassion,
Yeah.
and it's timeless. And I think that your stories, whoever finds them at any age, if that is their moment of permission of like what I'm feeling, or this crush I have on this person, or this, I had a
Mhm.
crush on Queen Latifah and I was like, are
Mhm.
you, are we,
Yeah,
what have you been
exactly.
locking in my heart? But sometimes just reading a story or watching a movie and seeing a happy ending for someone like us, it gives you hope that you can do that in real life, and it gives you
Exactly.
courage to flirt with the person or to meet someone one day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sometimes all you need is a little courage, and
Mhm.
I think it's great your books give that to people. And that's
Yeah, thank
amazing.
you.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I had two more questions for you before we close out. Can you share a quote or a snippet from The Case of Elmwood Ranch as a teaser for listeners?
Yes, I can. Okay.
Yay!
I'm gonna pull it up on my phone.
Oh, I'm
I
so
was
excited.
looking through the draft because I know for sure I'm still like actively working on it, but I know for sure I'm gonna keep this because it's in the early parts. Okay. So this is from Octavia's point of view. So, sorry, I said as I studied them. How old are you guys? After turning 30, everyone seemed like fetuses. I had nothing against prodigies, but I'd rather have adults helping dispel potential evil spirits and being listed on my business taxes. And in our hurry to hire someone, I'd forgotten about background checks. The team exchanged looks. Ray smiled, amused, while the guys seemed a bit offended. We're old enough to vote, drive, and host seances, Ray said. Would you like to see IDs?
I love that. I'm here for this.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the sass. I love the quick response. Like the main character is like, I don't want to have kids on my ranch
Yeah,
fighting
it's like,
ghosts and demons.
no.
And the other person is like, Yeah, I'm doing my job.
Hmm. I can host a seance, okay? I have an
I
ID.
love this. I'm like, now kiss. Oh,
Exactly.
if you can't tell, I was that kid who had the brats, and I was like,
No, same. That no, for real.
I
Acted
was like,
out.
there will be signs. There,
Hmm.
there will be
Hmm.
plots.
Hmm.
My last question for you is, what was your favorite part of writing The Case of Elmwood Ranch? And what would you like listeners to know about this upcoming novel?
Even though I was really scared about like the lore and the world building, that has been my favorite part because I feel like with the paranormal, it's giving me like more to play with.
Mm.
Because typically with my like couples, I don't like the conflict to be like too internal because again, I'm sensitive. I don't want you guys to fight too much now. I want it to be external so that like helps me like navigate that and make it feel a little bit more realistic.
Hmm.
So I've been having a lot of fun with that. And like I feel like these two like complement each other. So I obviously like writing the romance and like them getting a little closer with every chapter. And then readers should know this is probably going to be a very thick book. I'm trying to like whittle it down. I'm so nervous about it too, but I'm just like, ugh, I just have so much to say. So this one's going to be probably one of my thicker ones.
I'm excited. I always want your books to be bigger. So you're telling me you're like, it's going to be full of detail and yearning and ghosts. And I'm like, and the problem is,
Okay, that's a relief. So I'm like, I hope they're not mad that it's like it's kind of thick.
no, I love that.
Yeah.
Give me
Okay.
all the like, if it was a way to have like cozy elements plus gothic plus the gay, that is just the perfect combination to me. It's like, I want to be a little scared, but I also want to be able to like snuggle in my partner's arms and be like, we be scared together. Like, I love that. I think it's cool vibes. Also, speaking
Yeah.
of ghosties and the gays, I do have a book recommendation for you. I have two.
Perfect.
So now that I know that your book is pardonable and it's queer,
Mhm.
while we wait for your book, I have two recommendations for you and listeners. Okay. I have a graphic novel. It has ghosts, it has coffee, it has Brazil, and it may or may not have some really beautiful art in it. And that is Crema by Johnny
Oh,
Christmas and Dante Louise. The cover is a woman with really beautiful big puff of hair and beautiful bronze skin, and a woman with like a coppery reddish hair kissing. And then you see a ghost below them covered in coffee bean vines. Super
I love
spooky.
that.
And the back of the book says, Esme, a barista feels invisible, like a ghost. Also, when Esme drinks too much coffee, she actually sees ghosts. Yara, the elegant heir to a coffee plantation, is always seen, but only has eyes for Esme. Their world is turned upside down when the strange ghost of an old world nobleman begs Esme to take a letter from New York City to a haunted coffee farm in Brazil in order to reunite him with his lost love of a century ago, bringing sinister tidings and unrequited love. And that is Crema. It's a graphic novel. It's super short, and the art inside is like hues of like purples and browns and pinks.
Hmm.
So my cat was like, ghost, no, thank you. But I want to show you the inside of the book because this is one of those graphic novels I wish more people talked about. And the
Hmm.
art inside is actually really freaking
Oh, I love
beautiful.
that. I love that color scheme.
And the color scheme is really pretty. There's
Yeah.
also a section where like you see the ghosts and you see like the dilapidated like land, and it's
Oh,
really
that's
fucking
so.
pretty. It's absolutely gorgeous. Such a
Yeah.
good graphic novel, perfect for like autumn. You could read it year round. And then since we're talking about spooky things, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of spice, I have but not too bold. And this is by Hashe Peo. I want to make sure I say this correctly. Also super short. I saw this in a bookstore called Steamy Lit in my town.
Hmm.
Super, super cute. And the back is what pulled me in. It says, The Shape of Water meets Mexican Gothic and this sapphic monster romance novella wrapped in Gothic fantasy trappings. The old keeper of the keys is dead, and the creature who ate her is a volatile lady of Carpus House, Antima, an enormous humanoid spider with a taste of Landum and human brides. Dahlia, the old keeper's protege, must take up her duties, locking and unlocking the little drawers in which Anina keeps her memories. And if she could unravel the crime that led to her predecessor's execution, Dahlia might just be able to survive long enough to grow into her new role. But there's a gaping hole in Dahlia's plan that she refuses to see. And Tima cannot resist a beautiful woman. And she eventually devours every single bride that crosses her path.
Oh,
Oh yeah. And you're
yeah.
thinking like, oh, is this spooky? Is this scary? But the first line of this book was absolutely haunting and queer, if possible.
Yeah.
And it says the old keeper of the keys was dead, but no one heard her muffled scream, her crushed bones, or the iron keys that fell on the floor, clicking and clanking. The fact they only knew she was gone when a note arrived on the second floor, delivered by an empty elevator. Hire a new keeper of the keys, urgent, before dawn.
Oh,
And that is, but not too bold.
I love that.
Yes. And I'm saying if
Immediately gonna
the
buy.
gothic vibes, the queer
Hmm.
representation, we love to see it. I like anything that is like sapphic.
Yeah.
I absolutely love to see anything that's like a retelling of sorts or that has spooky
Hmm.
elements we love to see.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. I'm sitting here and I was like, while we wait, while we wait, and we
Right?
pre-order your book right away, we
Have
have
you, I
to
have
have
to
something.
ask, have you seen Haunting of Bly Manor?
I have,
Okay.
and I'm still
All right.
recovering.
Yeah, you're on it. I should have known, but
Anything queer, anything gothic, and anything spooky,
Mhm.
I'll take. My only
Too good.
thing is with a lot of shows and series, I wish that we were allowed to have happy endings. I
Hmm.
will say for Crumma, spoiler alert, I suppose, it does have a happy ending. We do not get murdered
Perfect.
at the end, which is great.
Perfect. Hmm.
And if you're also into web comics, if you really are a huge fan of Outdrawn and you want to like read a web comic that has black representation and sapphic rep, I highly recommend you check out Webtoons or get a copy of this book. It's my last recommendation for you. And it's called Muted,
Muted.
and it's a graphic novel. You can also read it for free on Webtoons. It's a great app, and it's by the author Miranda Mundant. It's Mundt. So Miranda Mundant, and it's a series set in New Orleans. That's the one I want to recommend you.
Oh,
Yes, it's set in New Orleans. The color scheme is like greens, reds, blues, and purples.
yeah.
It has a lot of characters who are of color. The main character is like this redhead. She's got like a gothic energy going. One of her love interests is a black woman, and she's got like a magical fox. And everyone has like creatures that match with their, like, I guess they're familiars. The main character has a raven. He's super sweet. Her one of her love interests has a fox, and then her other love interest is a plant, a humanoid plant.
Hmm.
So we get a little bit of non-binary representation there.
Yeah.
We also have a queen in the bayou who has an alligator, and her eyes shine white when she uses her magic, which is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
But yes, in that book, the main character is part of a family where when you cut your hand and like the blood comes out, you can summon a demon to do your bidding. But when she cuts her hand, a plant grows, and that goes against what her family wanted. There's a
Yeah.
mysterious fire. There's lots of grief. It does have darker elements, but it has that gothic, like intense energy. But the love story is a safe place. And there's also a little bit of poly representation as well. It's really sweet in those moments. So when the dark and like the magic come in, it feels very atmospheric, similar to the Vampire Diaries.
Oh,
So,
that's
so
my plans
good.
for the night. Thank you. Because that's what
100%.
I'm gonna
And the
make my
cover of the book
tea.
looks like that. It's a woman walking
Oh
through the
my
bayou, like
God.
red on the floor, like what, like the liquids and the trees above her.
This is about to be too good. Thank you for
And you said
that.
New Orleans, and I was like, I
Hmm.
know exactly what you need.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
Where can everyone find you on social media? Where can they find your books?
So I'm mainly on Instagram. So it's just Deanna Grey with two Y's. I'm trying to see if I have any other social media currently. I mean, I have a YouTube channel, which is also Deanna Grey, and that's where you can watch Outdrawn, the short film. I am in Kindle Unlimited, so my ebooks are exclusive to Kindle currently. So you can find my books on Amazon, and then I have a PayHip store, which is linked on my Instagram, and you can get signed copies there.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I will make sure to link your Instagram as well as your website and your links in your bio. Everything will be below. Please check out some of her amazing upcoming books. I'm so excited for everyone to read all of your books that you have coming out, specifically The Case of Elmwood Ranch, as well as your other book coming out in March, They Wouldn't Dare. Outdrawn is already out. You can read that on Kindle Unlimited, get a physical copy if you would like. I think the rainbow one is still selling.
There's
And Oasis, you can also find on her bio. I will link that below as well. All the books that I recommended as well will also be linked below in case you guys want those queer sapphic vibes. Like this on YouTube and subscribe, follow on Spotify, and thank you so much for listening. Have an absolutely wonderful day. Bye.